Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast with me, Nick Truman, your host. If you're wondering where on earth am I and why does it sound so different this week, I'm currently on holiday, so I'm actually filming from our hotel room. Everyone's giving me a little bit of peace and quiet. But also, it's Tuesday Tea Break Talks and I don't have a cup of tea. I know that is sacrilege given that I'm British and this is a tea break podcast, but there's too much to talk about to be making tea this week. It is Black Friday. There is so much going on and I'm only going to go through some of the headlines today because there's a few things that we need to talk about ahead of Black Friday. There is also quite an exciting episode coming out, potentially on Friday. It might be slightly late because of Black Friday and because I'm away at the moment, but we'll get you an episode as quickly as possible. And that's going to be talking about the things you need to do before Black Friday finishes, ahead of Black Friday finishing. A lot of brands lose a huge amount of marketing activity, opportunity, and a whole range of other things because they just completely delete everything at the end of Black Friday, which is not the thing to do with your marketing. But we're going to talk more about that on Friday. Before that, quote of the week, and I love this quote, which my team's put together for me. I have somebody making the notes for this called Daisy. So Daisy, thank you so much for doing all of this. The quote this week is, analyse last Black Friday's data. If you don't study your data, you're guessing, and guessing is the most expensive strategy in any business. So what that means is look at what sold well last year, what customers were buying, some of the user journeys on the site, and a whole range of other things. One of the challenges we find with a lot of brands that we work with is when it comes to Black Friday, they're like, we're going to do this year. And we say, why? And they don't know. And there's sort of no follow-up to that. So make sure you have a look at what happened last year. And when you want to look at where your revenue came from, where it didn't come from, the areas that worked, the areas that didn't, you might decide to do something completely different this year, but at least use the data to decide what the different thing is going to be. There's only one update on Shopify this week. I imagine they're quite busy. So Shopify have only released one change, which is actually a U-turn as far as I'm concerned. But given that we're a partner, a Shopify partner and an agency, we might get different support to you guys. But they've announced that it's easier to get on live chat now with a human, which we used to just get on live chat anyway 2-3 months ago. So again, it sounds like a U-turn to me in terms of what Shopify have actually changed there. I don't think they've changed anything. I think they've probably just listened to the complaints and decided that actually we shouldn't have got rid of live chat in the first place. So that is the update on Shopify. We've got a couple of bits of partner news, which are really, really important. One is that in January, we're going to be doing a webinar. I'm very sorry, but there is not a sign-up page that I'm aware of yet. There might be one created, but it's going to be TaxCloud and Seguno running that. We did one recently as well. I think a few hundred people turned up. We've had quite a lot of views on it, both on the podcast and also on the YouTube channel as well. So the webinar was quite popular, so we're going to do another one, and this is all about planning into 2026. If you're watching this in the UK and you're feeling anxious right now, I totally understand why. Our government is releasing a budget tomorrow, which I'm not very happy about and not excited at all about. So we'll see what happens on that. I might do a specific UK episode just reviewing the budget and what that means for e-commerce and for retail businesses as well. We'll see what's announced. They've been talking a really big game about doing some very scary things, and they did that last year and then didn't go ahead with a lot of it. So we'll see what they do. But there's going to be a webinar in January, and that's going to be just a global webinar. It's not specifically about the UK, but we're going to be talking about how to get ready for 2026, some of the things you need to do as you're entering the new year, and a whole range of other bits and pieces that are going to come up. But TaxCloud and Seguno have both signed up for that. If any other partners join, of course, we'll let those guys in. We'll get a registration page set up as fast as possible as well, so you can sign up to that webinar. We are also going to be announcing on the 1st of January something very, very big and very, very exciting, and I'm totally guilty of giving too much away too quickly, and I got told off for what I said last week on the show, so I'm not going to say anything apart from there's going to be a big announcement. Go to wwspodcast.com, go and sign up to our newsletter. We also have a new website coming out very shortly as well. I am just writing the content to make sure the site can go live properly. But go and sign up to our newsletter. You'll be the first to hear about that in January. Okay, there's two big updates going on agency side this week. One of them is about AI, which you might have heard of. I've been talking a lot about AI recently. I also got an email, and I thought it's worth covering this off just before I start talking about the update this week to SEO. Well, it's not an update this week, but something we're ready to announce. We didn't talk about AI very early on, and there was a very specific reason for that. And someone emailed me saying, why were you not talking about AI when everybody else was? The reason being is it hadn't matured yet. And because so many things were changing so quickly, I didn't want to have to backtrack on everything I'd said every week and start changing all of the things that we had released a week before or 2 weeks before or a month before and then suddenly go back and change it. So I try to only release updates that I believe are going to be evergreen, are going to stay forever. If there's a good opportunity to do something right now, but I think it's about to change or it then does change, then we try not to talk about it too quickly. And you've got to remember, everyone's in the same boat. So actually, if you get your brand and business featured on AI a lot, you're probably one of the only ones in your space right now that's doing that. effectively. Lots of brands that are actually featuring in AI haven't tried to in any sense of the imagination. They've not put certain bits of code in or tried indexing now or used Bing Webmaster Tools and some of the stuff that's appearing in Google Search Console at the moment. So actually a lot of the businesses doing well on AI are ones that just have good content, and none of that's new. So if you want to feature well on AI right now, write good content, but also listen to some of the previous episodes. This one's quite big though. And this talks specifically about Trustpilot, but this does apply to all review platforms. Well, I say all, this is again the thing with AI, I don't know if it applies to all of them. We definitely know it does apply to Trustpilot. ChatGPT is using Trustpilot as a trust signal. And so we got a quote here. I don't know where this quote's from, but this is the official the official documentation on it is: reputational searches rely heavily on Trustpilot alongside Google reviews, industry awards and specialist review sites, etc. For example, if somebody says who are the best online mattress companies in the USA right now, so someone's saying who are the best, and the way to know who the best is by the customers saying these guys are the best. And obviously reviews do a big part of that. So ChatGPT is scraping Trustpilot from what we can see. This isn't from Trustpilot directly, but this is being heavily reported over the last couple of weeks. So that's the first, sorry, there are three things, not two. I misread my notes. That's one thing that's on ChatGPT. So you have to really use a verified third-party review platform. Lots of sites we see, and we talk about this a lot on the show, is they just have text on a site with 5 gold star symbols or emojis or whatever. So it looks like loads and loads of reviews, but they're not verified. As far as Google and ChatGPT and other people are concerned that are going to recommend your site and drive traffic to your site, you've just written some stuff. It's just black and white text as far as they're concerned. So having a verified review platform means that the trustpilot.com domain is linking back to your site, which is a massive link, which means you get that backlinking equity for SEO purposes. It also means that those verified reviews have been verified by an independent party called Trustpilot, which means if they're all green and all 5-star, you've got loads of green 5-star reviews. So they're all verified there. And then the next one's about tofu. And no, we're not talking about a vegan diet here. We are talking about tofu, which is top of funnel. So top of funnel queries are now available in Google Search Console. If you're like, Nick, what on earth are we talking about tofu and funnels and things for? And you're new to marketing, top of funnel is somebody that's starting their research. Should I buy a new car? And then when they get halfway through there, that's the top of the funnel. Should I buy a new car or not? Or what cars are out there at the moment? Then you get into the which car shall I buy? Which one might be right for me? And then once you know which car you want to buy from the middle of funnel, you get to bottom of funnel, which is I'm going to buy my car. Where is the best place to purchase that car? And so that's how the funnel works. So those top of funnel queries now, you can actually see those in Google Search Console, and you can use a regex or API through Google Search, not Google Search Console. That is Google Search Console. You can tell I'm on holiday. You can use Google Looker Studio to filter all those Google Search Console queries because there is an API limit, so you can only see so many in Google Search Console. So if you pull it into Looker Studio just by plugging Search Console into Google Looker Studio, both platforms are free, by the way, so there's no reason not to be doing this apart from time and resource. But you should definitely go and look at all of those top of funnel queries, those tofu queries, and see and see what people are searching for, where your site's actually being featured and where it's not. The second part to all of that, of course, is make your brand as sticky as possible, we call it. And what we mean by sticky is someone's been on the site once before. You want to make sure that they remember your brand. Your brand being sticky is someone going, this brand I saw the other day is lovely, I'm going to go back to their site. The other things you could do is try and get them to sign up to an email, so they come back on email, get them to create a wish list, get them to get in touch with your business, get them to add something to cart and put their email in so you can start doing a banner basket. The danger with all of the top of funnel marketing I find is loads of people find out about your business and they don't come back to purchase later. So making it sticky. How can I either get some contact details so I can keep nudging that person until they buy with different messages, different USPs, different offers, different products, until we find the one that's right for them, or making the brand so sticky and so bright and vibrant and memorable that they just want to come back. Final one, a lot of you guys will be using Performance Max on Google. And one thing that's changing on Google at the moment, we're finding, is we've forever been using target ROAS. So you say, right, I need to make a 4-to-1 ROI. So you set the target ROAS at 400%. You tell the campaigns, I need a 400% return on investment here. So every pound I spend or every dollar, I need £4 or $4 back for that investment. Now we've been changing that. So actually the team has started using target CPA, which takes a little bit more management, because the problem with target CPA on paper, CPA being this is how much I'm willing to spend per sale I get. Not all sales are the same. So you might set a target CPA of $100, and then find actually I'm getting a load of orders that are below $100. I'm giving Google $100 and not making $100 back. But the point is it's an average. So then long term you should be finding, or across the board, that my average order value, if I need to make 4 to 1 and it's costing me $100 per sale that I'm making on my site, I'm getting at least $400 on average. So total revenue divided by total spend still needs to make 4 to 1 ROI. But actually that target CPA, if you break your PMAX campaigns down enough, but not too much. I'm not going to get into that today. It's a whole science behind how that works. But if you try to break down the campaigns enough, you can actually then manage the CPAs at these products here I need to have an average order value of $800, and these products here I need an average order value of $20. So actually I'm going to bid on the CPAs accordingly. The $20 one, I can spend $5 per order, so my target CPA is going to be $5, and the ones that are making me $200 or $2,000, again, let's set it as if it's a 4 to 1 ROI, let's set the budget or target CPA at a quarter of what my average order value is. So that's all changed a little bit. And then finally, and again, I wish I had a cup of tea. I should have got a cup of tea for this, but I'm quite tired, which is why I'm on holiday. It's been a long year. We've got some true or false questions that Daisy and the gang have put together. I love this. So thank you so much, Daisy. This is so much more fun than just the normal quivvias we do. And if you're wondering, Nick, what the heck is a quivvia? It is a question about a piece of trivia. So I came up with, I'm really proud of that. Anyway, so true or false? The biggest sales spike happens on Black Friday itself. So the biggest spike in sales. Is that true or false? Turn to the person next to you, shout out the window of the car, or shout across the gym, wherever you're listening to this right now. Tell your dog if you're on a dog walk. True or false? The answer is false. In many industries, Cyber Monday, or the days leading up to Black Friday, actually now outperform Black Friday itself. And it says many industries, so not every single one, but most industries is doing that. That's very interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people put such an emphasis on that. So if you're just running a sale on Black Friday, you might be missing a trick here. And actually maybe on Black Friday itself, you actually want to keep the sale running, but spend less on advertising. I wonder if there's a lower sales spike per industry, per business, because that's the day everybody goes really, really hard and consumers are just like, what's going on? Whereas if you're the only one in your industry to go on sale like 5 or 16 or 20 days before, because you're the only one, you might see a bigger spike because you're the only one suddenly announcing, we're on sale, let's go. Whereas on Black Friday, you've got to fight against all the noise of all the retailers that are just doing Black Friday. All right, true or false? Email marketing generates more Black Friday revenue than social media ads. This is from a recent study the gang were looking at. Email marketing generates more Black Friday revenue than social media ads. True or false? The answer is true. Email is consistently the highest converting channel during Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. Make sure your email is on point, Daisy. It's a technical term, on point. It's not really. And then final one, and then we can say a lovely goodbye and I can go back to my holiday. And then make sure I try and get my Black Friday episode ready. True or false? Mobile traffic dominates Black Friday shopping. True or false? I feel like it's an easier one, but it's an interesting point to raise today, isn't it? It is, of course, true. A large majority of Black Friday visits come from mobile devices. Why? Because everyone uses mobile phones. I'm currently reading my notes on a mobile phone. And while I've been sitting, I've had 2 notifications from Amazon and 1 from another app as well. I'm on holiday, so I'm going to set my notifications off. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It's been great to have you all listening in, and I hope you can join us on Friday if we can get the episode out on time. So I'm just waiting for a couple of bits and pieces to be sent to me. But thanks so much for tuning in. Back again on Friday. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. If it's the first time tuning into the channel, there is so much content. I don't always sound this bad. I'm using my Apple AirPods today as well. So not AirPods, whatever these ones are called, the wired ones from Apple. I'm using these, so the audio quality is not as good as possible, nor is the video. But we'll be back again next week for another Tuesday Tea Break Talks, and I hope to post on Friday. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye from me. Enjoy Black Friday.